Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Mediumcore. I have made the decision to start this episode with the gatehouse instead of the archive. In this episode, I'll be making only the gatehouse, the walls, also do the roadway extension at least for a little bit, but I want this to be decently big. Honestly, this part will probably be bigger than what I have it at. The tower part of it will probably be about this size. I'll figure it out as I go along. But that's how I want to spend this episode. I don't want to build something and then immediately start a new project. I just want to get right into this project, because it's gonna be quite a few episodes in the making, since I've got to do the gatehouse in this episode, and then however many episodes it takes to build the massive mansion and the wall around it, and then I can move on to the other stuff in the area. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing for the next several episodes, honestly. But this episode is going to be specifically building the gatehouse and a slight extension to the road, not even the complete extension. As figured, I immediately changed the shape of what I originally had, but I've built the gate itself. I don't think it looks terrible. It looks better than when I tried to make it solid wood. It's not perfect, and I like the ability that you'll be able to see the road go under it. But that's the gate. Nothing particularly special. And then over here, I've decided that the tower part is going to be a bit smaller and just smaller, thinner, a lot taller though. And then I want to have a small, almost building-like connection on top of this between the two, instead of a small walkway like I'd originally planned. And then over here, a larger square area. And the reason this is longer than this is because there's going to be wooden corner pillars, and I didn't want to bring it too close to the actual gate itself. But that's the gate, and I think what I'll work on next is actually... No, I'll still work on the tower next. I think it's going to be an easier start. I wasn't quite sure about the color combination for the tower at first, but now that I've sat with it for a while, I like it. And I like how this turned out. It looks a bit tall, but that'll be fixed when the rest of the building is in place. And from a distance, it does look like it belongs. It looks like part of the build. And I like how it turned out. I think it'll be interesting to see the rest of the build come together with this in mind. And I kind of wanted it to match with the aesthetic we had over there with the stable, as well as with the tower, of the dark colors and then the cyan. And that's kind of the general color scheme I want to go throughout this specific build, as well as the wall that I intend to have encompassing the mansion when it is eventually built, which I'm now realizing there's not going to be a lot of space on this side for the wall. That's okay. I can probably make it come directly out of the back. Either way, I'll figure something out. But yeah, that's the tower, so all that's left to do is this building and then the connector. Oh yeah, I'm really liking this color combination. I like it a lot. I like those shades of blue. Not blocks I typically use, as you can tell. That build is kind of the exception. But some of these blocks I don't think I've ever used, like the warp blocks. But those will probably get used more often going on, because I do like their color. And their texture isn't terrible. But that's this side of the gatehouse done. Nothing inside, quite empty. nothing particularly fancy about it. It just is. It's nothing terribly complicated, but it took way more resources than I expected. It took several stacks of a lot of things, and I was constantly having to go back for more wood, which I was not expecting. Also, there's a hole in the wall, a really big hole in the wall, and that is intentional. It's because that's going to lead into the connecting piece between this and this that will go over the archway, because right now the gate itself is looking very short and stubby, and it's going to look a lot better when this is all connected and put into place. And I think this is turning out to be pretty good so far. So yeah. And now it is complete. And now, looking on it as a whole, I would like to pay my gratitude towards Reddit user SwordSelfMC, without whom this build would not be possible, because they made a Reddit post quite a while back, and most of this build was an adaptation of their build, obviously with my own flair and spin and changes, but it was heavily adapted from and inspired by their post. So I'd like to give a shout out to them, and the link to their post will be in the description. But this is it. It's finally done with the section over the gate. It looks a lot more complete, looks a lot thicker, more whole. I just went for a simple roof, connecting it up with this one, and I've also gone ahead and made a small interior. It's very basic, and I mean very basic, but it serves its purpose. So we've got an entrance from the inner side that leads to specifically the tower. Some bookshelves, some full, some empty. Lazy attempt to cover the loom top texture. Here we've got a little seating area, little lounge I suppose, and then hallway for connecting with the rest of the build. And then up here at the very tippy top, we've got a little small bedroom and a very, not very wealthy, just a barrel and a bed for the person, the gatekeeper, because he or she would live in this tower. And then there's this little connecting tunnel. Great view, by the way. It'll be even better as this area develops. Yeah, it's nothing special. And I really like this color. I love the cyan color. And over here is the top floor of the side build. You see the floor kind of lowers to match it. Another great view. Got some storage barrels, some little more seating area, and then a shelf in the middle for like payments or tributes from people coming in from the road. I almost broke the pane, that would have been annoying. And then it's just kind of in the middle because it didn't fit anywhere up against the wall. I'm not entirely happy with it being in the middle, but it is what it is. And then the staircase down here. This is the gate key set of armor, perhaps magically enhanced to protect the key or something. Little desk, so the gatekeeper can greet anyone seeking for the gate to open. And then little way down and go to the front. That way somebody can come up and petition for the gate to be opened. So that's that. The interior is nothing special, but the exterior I absolutely love. And I can't wait to expand on this build. And I really like this palette of the muted grays, the darker browns and blacks, and then the cyan colors. And I think that's the color scheme I want to continue with the rest of this build. Especially with like the walls. I'm not sure how that'll work with the big mansion, but I'll figure something out. And on the topic of the big mansion, I had an idea, I'm not sure if I'll stick with it entirely, but I want to look at some real buildings and then make a build based off of those instead of what I usually do, which is either make a build based off of another building I have, or based off of other people's builds, because that's where I take a lot of inspiration. But I want to build something completely inspired by real life, big front and center, and I want it to be obviously to my color palette, so I'll have to modify it, and it's going to take quite a bit of designing, quite a bit of planning, so this is going to take several episodes, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. But for now, it's just the gatehouse. But it is a lovely gatehouse. That's all we're going to do for today's episode of Minecraft Mediumcore. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.